Have you ever felt like you're running full speed, only to slam into an invisible wall? That moment when your ambition, your creativity, your sheer force of will is no longer enough to push forward. It's a feeling we all know: the artist staring at a blank canvas, the scientist whose equations lead to a dead end, the entrepreneur whose brilliant idea is just too expensive, too complex to build. For over 50 years, this has been the secret story of our most powerful creation, artificial intelligence. We built it to be limitless, to solve the problems we couldn't. But with every brilliant leap forward, we could hear the footsteps of its unbeatable enemy getting louder and closer, an enemy born from the very nature of reality itself. Today, we're going to talk about the day that wall didn't just get broken, it vanished. We're telling the story of a breakthrough so profound, it marks a dividing line in human history, the world before and the world after. This isn't just about faster computers. This is about a new kind of thought, a new kind of discovery, and a future that was, until very recently, pure science fiction. For decades, we've watched artificial intelligence grow up. We were like proud parents, marveling at its first steps. We saw it learn to play chess, then go, beating our own grandmasters. We saw it learn to write poetry, generate breathtaking art, and hold conversations that felt deeply, surprisingly human, with models like ChatGPT. Each step was a triumph, a headline, a celebration of human ingenuity. But behind the scenes, in the server farms and research labs, a quiet crisis was brewing. This crisis is called the exponential scaling problem. Think of it like this. Imagine you're building a tower out of Legos. Your first tower is 10 blocks high. Easy. Your next one is 100 blocks. More challenging, but doable. But to make it just a little bit smarter, the next tower needs to be 10,000 blocks high. And the one after that, 1,000,000. Suddenly, you don't just need more Legos. You need a bigger room, a stronger floor, a team of engineers, and a budget that spirals into the stratosphere. This is exactly what was happening to AI. Every time we wanted to make a model like ChatGPT more capable to understand more nuance, to have a better memory, to reason more deeply, we had to add more blocks, which in AI are called parameters. The first notable GPT model had 117 million of them, a huge number, but GPT-4 is estimated to have over 1 trillion. That's not a simple step up. It's a jump across a canyon. The computational power needed to train and run these models began to double, then quadruple, then multiply by a factor of 10 with each new generation. The costs were becoming astronomical. Training a flagship AI model went from the price of a luxury car to the price of a fleet of fighter jets. The energy consumption was equally staggering, with a single training run consuming enough electricity to power a small city for a year. AI was hitting its invisible wall. It was becoming a victim of its own success, a prisoner of its own complexity. Progress was becoming unsustainable, a game only the wealthiest tech giants on the planet could afford to play. We had built a mind with limitless potential, but trapped it in a body that couldn't keep up. The dream of a truly intelligent, problem-solving partner for humanity was at risk of becoming a beautiful, but ultimately unaffordable luxury. History is full of moments where a single discovery quietly changes the destiny of our species. The discovery of fire, the invention of the printing press, the splitting of the atom. These weren't loud, explosive events at first, but quiet moments of revelation in a lab, a workshop, or a cave. On July 28, 2025, another such moment occurred. The location itself was steeped in history. Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico. This is the same remote, high-desert facility where the Manhattan Project unfolded, a place where the fundamental laws of physics were harnessed to reshape the world. On this day, there was no explosion, no mushroom cloud. There was just a series of calculations, a stream of data on a screen that seemed, at first glance, unremarkable. But what that data represented was a key turning a lock that humanity had been fumbling with for half a century. A team of researchers announced they had done it. They had found a way to break AI free from its prison. Their discovery wasn't just another incremental improvement. It wasn't about making a slightly faster computer chip or a more efficient algorithm. They demonstrated, with verifiable proof, that quantum computers could solve AI's scaling problem. Now, we've heard about quantum computers for years, often spoken about in hushed, futuristic tones. But the common assumption was that they were just faster calculators. The Los Alamos announcement revealed a much deeper truth. It wasn't just about accelerating old ways of thinking. It was about enabling entirely new forms of reasoning, ways of seeing the world that are fundamentally impossible for a classical computer, no matter how powerful it gets. It was like the difference between a photograph and a hologram. One is a flat representation of reality. The other captures its depth, its structure, its very essence from every angle at once. This discovery marked the true dawn of a new era, the era of quantum AI, an era where intelligence could finally begin to operate without limits. To truly grasp why this breakthrough is so monumental, we need to understand the monster that AI was fighting. In mathematics and computer science, it has a terrifyingly apt name: the curse of dimensionality. Let's use a simple analogy. Imagine you're trying to find the best coffee shop in a tiny town. The town is just one long street. You only have one variable, or one dimension, to consider: the position on the street. You walk from one end to the other, and you're done. Easy. Now, let's try to find the best coffee shop in a city like New York. Suddenly, you have more dimensions. You have latitude and longitude, but you also have to consider other variables: price, quality of the coffee, atmosphere, customer reviews, distance from a subway station, and opening and closing time. With each new variable you add, the space you have to search grows exponentially. Your simple line has become a complex, multi-layered map. If you add 10 variables, you're not searching a space that's 10 times bigger. You're searching one that's thousands, or even millions, of times bigger. This is the curse of dimensionality. AI systems, especially the large language models we interact with, are trying to navigate a decision space with not 10, not 100, but billions, or even a trillion dimensions. Each parameter in the model is another dimension. When you ask ChatGPT a question, it's not just retrieving an answer, it's navigating this impossibly vast, trillion-dimensional space to find the most probable and coherent sequence of words. A classical compute, even a supercomputer, is fundamentally limited here. It's like our coffee shop searcher, forced to check every single intersection on that multi-layered map, one by one. It can do it very, very fast, but it still has to do it sequentially. As the number of dimensions explodes, the number of possible points to check becomes greater than the number of atoms in the universe. This is why the jump from GPT-1's 117 million parameters to GPT-4's trillion was so costly. We weren't just adding more Legos to the tower, we were adding entire new universes of complexity for the AI to navigate. The next leap, to a 10 trillion parameter model, was projected to cost not just billions, but tens of billions of dollars. Progress was grinding to a halt under its own weight. The curse was winning. So, a classical computer is like a person diligently checking every coffee shop one by one. What is a quantum computer? It's not just a faster person. It's someone who can be at every single coffee shop in the city, all at the same time. The seemingly impossible idea is thanks to two of the strangest, most wonderful principles of quantum mechanics: superposition and entanglement. Let's start with superposition. A classical computer bit is like a light switch. It can be either on one or off. It's a definite state. A quantum bit, or qubit, is different. Thanks to superposition, a qubit can be a 1, or both at the same time. It's like a spinning coin before it lands. It's not heads, it's not tails, it's in a state of potentiality that encompasses both. By linking multiple qubits together, a quantum computer can hold and process an exponential number of possibilities simultaneously. 2 qubits can hold 4 values at once. 3 can hold 8. 300 qubits can hold more values than there are atoms in the known universe. This is where the magic begins. A classical computer tests solutions one by one. A quantum computer, by existing in this all-at-once state of superposition, can explore the entire landscape of potential solutions in a single, elegant operation. Then there's entanglement, a phenomenon Einstein famously called spooky action at a distance. When two qubits are entangled, their fates are linked, no matter how far apart they are. If you measure one and find its heads, you instantly know the other is tails, and vice versa. This creates deep, subtle correlations between different parts of the calculation. In the context of AI, this is profound. It allows the computer to understand the hidden relationships between variables in a way that is simply impossible for a classical machine. It's not just looking at each coffee shop individually, it's understanding the invisible network that connects them all, how the price at one affects the foot traffic at another, how a good review for one can be correlated with a new subway line opening blocks away. This is the fundamental shift. Classical computing is about brute force, one step at a time. Quantum computing is about probability, parallelism, and interconnectedness. It doesn't just run faster, it navigates the curse of dimensionality by embracing it. It uses the exponential complexity of a problem as a source of strength, exploring that vast, multi-dimensional space not as a maze to be navigated, but as a landscape to be seen in its entirety, all at once. So, what was the specific key that the Los Alamos team, led by the brilliant Dr. Patrick Cole, actually turned? It was an algorithm, a new kind of recipe for a quantum computer to follow. They developed something called a quantum Gaussian process. To understand this, let's go back to our painting analogy. A classical machine learning algorithm trying to understand a complex dataset is like a pointillist painter. It looks at one tiny piece of data, one dot, and places a dot of paint on the canvas. Then it looks at the next dot, and the next, and the next. Over millions of dots, a picture slowly, painstakingly emerges. But it might miss the bigger picture, the subtle interplay of light and shadow, the overall composition. It sees the trees, but it struggles to see the forest. A quantum Gaussian process is different. It's like an artist who can look at the entire landscape and instantly understand the underlying mathematical rules that govern it, the way the light falls, the way the colors blend, the way the shapes relate to one another. It doesn't place dots one by one. It sees the hidden patterns, the deep correlations running through the entire system, and paints the whole picture at once, with a richness and depth the pointillist could never achieve. This is what Dr. Cole's algorithm did for AI. It allowed a quantum computer to look at a massive, high-dimensional dataset and, instead of getting lost in the details, it could instantly grasp the underlying structure. It could find the hidden patterns and relationships that were completely invisible to classical systems. And it did this with an exponential speed up. Problems that would take the world's most powerful supercomputers years, or even centuries, to solve could now be completed in a matter of hours. This wasn't just a faster algorithm, it was a new kind of intelligence. An intelligence that didn't just compute, but perceived. In the world of science, a bold claim is nothing without proof. The Los Alamos paper wasn't just a theory, it was a demonstration. It went through the rigorous process of peer review, where the world's top physicists and computer scientists tried to poke holes in it, to find flaws in the methodology. It held up. Crucially, the team achieved what is known as true quantum advantage. This is a critical milestone. It's the moment when a quantum computer performs a useful task that is practically impossible for any existing or even future classical supercomputer to accomplish in a reasonable amount of time. It's the line in the sand. Before quantum advantage, quantum computers were fascinating, experimental devices. After, they became essential tools. And here's the most electrifying part of the announcement. This wasn't some far-off, theoretical future. The algorithm developed by Dr. Cole's team was designed to run on the quantum hardware that already exists. It could be implemented on the platforms built by IBM, Google, Rigetti, and other pioneers in the field. This meant it was ready to be deployed now, not in decades. The implications were staggering. For the first time in history, we had a practical, scalable solution to the curse of dimensionality. AI could now process millions of variables at once, not as a mind-bendingly complex chore, but as its natural mode of operation. The prison doors had been blown wide open. So, what new superpowers does this quantum AI possess? They can be broken down into three core areas: simultaneity, correlation, and prediction. Simultaneity, as we've discussed, comes from superposition. It's the ability to explore a massive data landscape in parallel. Think of a financial analyst trying to find the perfect investment strategy. A classical AI would have to test thousands of different stock combinations one after another. A quantum AI can evaluate all of them simultaneously, instantly identifying the optimal portfolio that balances risk and reward in a way that a human or classical machine could never find. Correlation is its most mystical and powerful ability, derived from entanglement. It's the power to see the invisible threads connecting everything. A classical AI can spot a correlation between ice cream sales and crime rates. They both go up in the summer. But it doesn't understand the hidden cause, the heat. A quantum AI, through entanglement, can perceive these deeper, non-obvious relationships across an entire system. It could, for example, detect a subtle fluctuation in the Brazilian real estate market and see how it's invisibly linked to the probability of a drought in Southeast Asia 6 months later, through a complex chain of global supply, consumer behavior, and climate patterns that no classical algorithm could ever untangle. These two powers combine to create the ultimate superpower, prediction. Because quantum AI can see the whole system at once and understand the hidden connections within it, it can model the future with astonishing accuracy. It's not fortune-telling. It's a form of profound understanding. It's like watching a master chess player who isn't just thinking one move ahead, but can see the entire web of possible futures on the board and knows which path leads to victory. This is where quantum AI leaves traditional AI behind. Traditional AI is very good at recognizing patterns from the past. Quantum AI is built to understand the dynamics of the present so deeply, it can predict the patterns of the future. This isn't just abstract theory. These superpowers are poised to transform every aspect of our world in ways that are hard to even comprehend. Take drug discovery. The human body is a massively complex quantum system. Designing a drug is about finding a tiny molecule that can fit perfectly into a specific protein to block a disease. Classically, this is a slow, brutal process of trial and error, testing millions of compounds in a lab. It can take a decade and billions of dollars to bring one drug to market. A quantum AI can simulate these molecular interactions at the quantum level. It can model millions of potential drug compounds in a matter of hours, finding the perfect key for a biological lock. Cures for Alzheimer's, cancers, genetic disorders. Development timelines could be cut from decades to years, or even months. In finance, quantum AI can analyze the entire global market in real time, seeing the entangled relationships between every stock, bond, currency, and commodity. It could detect the faint signals of an impending market crash weeks in advance, allowing for stabilization. It could identify complex financial fraud rings in an instant, tracing patterns of transactions that are invisible to current systems. For climate science, our biggest existential threat, this is a game changer. Current climate models are incredibly sophisticated, but they have to make approximations. They can't possibly simulate every variable on the planet. A quantum AI could. It could create a perfect digital twin of the Earth, modeling the impossibly complex interactions between oceans, atmosphere, ice caps, and human activity with perfect accuracy. We could finally test solutions like carbon capture or reforestation and know exactly what their long-term impact would be, turning guesswork into certainty. And in material science, the possibilities are breathtaking. We could design new materials atom by atom, superconductors that work at room temperature, enabling lossless energy transmission that could power the world, new catalysts that could pull carbon dioxide directly from the air, batteries with near-infinite capacity, materials lighter than plastic, but stronger than any known metal. We would move from an age of discovering materials to an age of inventing them on demand. The announcement from Los Alamos on July 28, 2025, wasn't just a scientific paper, it was the starting pistol for the defining technological race of the 21st century. The world reacted instantly. The silence was broken, and a global scramble began. Google, already a leader in both AI and quantum computing, immediately announced a $2 billion investment to merge its DeepMind AI division with its quantum hardware teams. The goal was clear: to be the first to build a true large-scale quantum AI. IBM, a titan of the computing industry for a century, didn't compete directly. It collaborated. It launched the Quantum AI Network, a consortium of 50 top universities and research institutions, creating an open ecosystem to accelerate development. Microsoft integrated quantum AI capabilities directly into its Azure cloud platform, signaling a move to democratize access and make this power available to businesses and developers around the world. Venture capital flooded into the space. Startups with names like Entangled Minds and Quantum Cognition raised over $5 billion in a matter of months. But the real battle was between nations. This was no longer just a corporate competition, it was a matter of geopolitical power and national security. China, recognizing the strategic importance, announced its $10 billion National Quantum AI Initiative, a state-sponsored moonshot program to achieve dominance in the field. The European Union bolstered its existing quantum flagship program, pouring in billions of euros to ensure Europe wouldn't be left behind. The competition for quantum supremacy in AI became the new space race, the new Manhattan Project. The nation that could master this technology first would not just lead the world economically and scientifically, it would fundamentally hold the keys to the future. Even as this global race kicked off, the technology didn't wait. The first applications began to reshape industries almost immediately. It started in the places with the most complex problems and the most to gain. The pharmaceutical industry was first. Companies began using early-stage quantum AI to simulate protein folding, one of the most notoriously difficult problems in biology. Understanding how proteins fold is the key to curing countless diseases, and for the first time, they were getting clear, actionable answers in days instead of years. Autonomous vehicles saw a massive leap. A self-driving car has to process a chaotic, dynamic environment in real time. A quantum AI could process this fire hose of data from sensors, not just identifying objects, but predicting the intentions of every car, pedestrian, and cyclist in its vicinity, creating a new level of unparalleled safety and efficiency. Healthcare moved towards true personalization. Instead of prescribing medicine based on broad population studies, doctors could use quantum AI to analyze an individual's entire genome and craft a personalized treatment plan, a drug regimen designed for their unique biology. Smart cities began using quantum optimization algorithms to manage their impossibly complex systems. They could dynamically reroute traffic to eliminate congestion, manage the flow of electricity across the grid with perfect efficiency to prevent blackouts, and optimize public services in a way that saved billions and improved the quality of life for millions. The message became clear: any sector that relies on finding the optimal solution within a sea of complex data, which, in the 21st century, is every sector, was about to be transformed from the ground up. But despite this whirlwind of progress, the road ahead is not easy. This new power comes with monumental challenges. Quantum systems are miracles of engineering, but they are also incredibly fragile. The first major hurdle is engineering and stability. The qubits that power these machines are exquisitely sensitive to their environment. A single stray microwave, a tiny fluctuation in temperature, or the slightest vibration can cause them to lose their delicate quantum state in a process called decoherence. It's like trying to have a whispered conversation in the middle of a rock concert. To prevent this, most quantum computers have to be kept in heavily shielded containers, cooled to temperatures colder than deep space, near absolute zero. Building these systems is hard. Scaling them up from hundreds of qubits to thousands or millions, while keeping them stable, is one of the greatest engineering challenges of our time. The second challenge is access and integration. How do we connect these strange, cold, quantum machines to our existing classical computers? How do we build the software that can bridge these two worlds? And how do we ensure that this transformative power doesn't just stay in the hands of a few giant corporations and governments, creating an unbreakable quantum divide? And perhaps the greatest challenge of all is talent. We are entering an era that requires a new kind of expert. We don't just need physicists, and we don't just need AI engineers. We need people who are both. We need a generation of scientists and engineers who can speak the language of quantum mechanics and machine learning fluently. These quantum unicorns are incredibly rare, and training them will take years. The next decade will be defined by the race to build not just the machines, but the minds who can wield them. The quantum AI era has begun, but its full impact will unfold in stages over the next decade. Between 2025 and 2027, we are in the era of early adoption. The first high-value applications, primarily in drug discovery, material science, and high-frequency financial modeling, will prove the technology's immense return on investment. These will be the killer apps that justify the massive R&D costs. From 2027 to 2030, we will see the democratization of quantum AI. As cloud platforms like Microsoft's Azure, Amazon's AWS, and Google's Cloud mature their quantum offerings, access will no longer be limited to elite research labs. Startups, universities, and even individual researchers will be able to rent time on a quantum computer, igniting a Cambrian explosion of innovation in every field imaginable. By 2030 to 2035, we will likely see a new equilibrium emerge. Quantum AI will dominate the world of complex problem-solving, optimization, and simulation, the grand challenges. Meanwhile, classical AI will continue to excel at the tasks it's already good at: language processing, image recognition, and everyday automation. They will work in symbiosis, a hybrid intelligence where the classical system handles the interface with the world, and the quantum system provides the deep, underlying insights. This decade will forge the new leaders of the global economy. Those who master this hybrid intelligence will thrive. Those who don't will fade into history. It's easy to get lost in the technology, the geopolitics, the race. But it's crucial to step back and remember what this is all for. Quantum AI isn't just a faster tool to make more money or build a better gadget. It's a catalyst for a new era of human discovery. It's a tool for asking bigger questions. For the first time, we have a realistic path to solving some of the problems that have plagued us for our entire existence. Curing diseases that have stolen our loved ones. Developing the clean energy technologies needed to reverse climate change. Unlocking the mysteries of the universe, from the human brain to the nature of consciousness itself. We are standing at the threshold of a phase of unprecedented human capability. The world is about to become more complex, more challenging, but also filled with more potential than ever before. The message from that quiet lab in Los Alamos is clear and undeniable. The quantum revolution has begun. So, what is the lesson for us, living through this moment? It's not that we all need to become quantum physicists. The lesson is about adaptation and curiosity. The world is changing at an exponential pace, and the most important skill is no longer knowing the answers, but knowing how to ask the right questions. It's about cultivating a mindset of lifelong learning and being brave enough to venture into territories that seem complex or intimidating. The future belongs to those who are curious, to those who refuse to believe in the word impossible. So I leave you with a couple of questions to think about. If you were given access to this kind of intelligence, an intelligence without limits, what problem would you ask it to solve first? And as you look at this coming future, which of these breakthroughs excites you or perhaps even scares you the most? Thank you for joining me on this journey into the future. I hope this has given you a clearer picture of the incredible world we are about to step into. And if you found this story thought-provoking and want to continue exploring the frontiers of science and technology with us, please consider subscribing to the channel. We have so much more to discover together.